have you with us here on this Friday broadcast of Take Two with Jerry and Debbie and you on EWTN Radio, coming to you every Monday through Friday at this time, noon Eastern Time, with an encore at midnight Eastern Time on many of these same EWTN affiliate stations. I am Jerry Usher along with Debbie Georgiani, and once a month, Debbie, we just kind of take a little bit of a breather and let the listeners bring up whatever topic they want.
That's true. It's unscripted, so you can bring up any subject. You can revisit past episodes of Take Two. You can suggest future topics, anything that's on your mind or heart. Okay, I can't hold back any longer. I wasn't going to do this, but it is the day before your birthday, so happy birthday, Jerry. Well, it's unscripted. I can bring anything to the table. You said so.
Thank you. It's very
happy
kind.
Birthday.
You already said it this week, though.
You get a whole week.
Oh, okay.
Of celebration. And then that's it. But I got something else to bring to the table. I'm so excited about Jim Caviezel's new movie, this Sound of Freedom, about sex trafficking, because they're trying to get millions of people to buy tickets or to get the free tickets from Angel Studios. And I understand it's coming out July 4th. On Independence Day, and theaters are selling out. So praise be to God on that, to raise awareness of what's really happening in Hollywood and other places with this horrible crime against people that is just terrible, this sex trafficking. And Sound of Freedom's coming out July 4th. And I got my ticket already. I'm going July 6th.
Well, I was just going to tell people where they can get tickets, and since you have already, how did you get yours, and how can people get tickets for this?
Well, I actually got a free ticket from Angel Studios. I don't know if they're still giving out the free tickets. They were trying to get like 2 million people to the theaters, but I understand you can go to any of your local theaters and just scroll to July 4th, and most of them are playing Sound of Freedom, and I'm just thrilled. I mean, we're trying to get Jim Caviezel on our show for an interview. It would be wonderful, but I'm happy for him because he's so dedicated to it, wants to raise awareness, wants to stop this from happening to any other human being. I mean, it's tragic what's going on, and it's going on right underneath our underneath our eyes in our neighborhood, right in front of us, and that's what he's trying. It's a true story, and that's what he's trying to bring to our attention, because it's happening right in front of us. We don't even see it.
It is sad, it is satanic, it is demonic, and we must pray against it. And thank God for Jim Caviezel and all of the others involved with the movie, those who are promoting it. And so, Sound of Freedom coming out on July 4th. Coming out today on your radio is Unscripted on EWTN. Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. If you have something you would like to talk about, whatever it is, we're just kind of hanging here on a Friday morning in some places, afternoon in some places. So whatever is on your mind or your heart, 833-288-3986. You also may email take2@EWTN.com, and that works with the number 2 or the word 2 spelled out, take2@EWTN.com. We're on the video streams. Hello to those of you watching on Facebook and YouTube. Jeff Burson will snag your comments from there and get some over to us. And you can always post 24/7, especially during the show, at take2show.com.
And we have Rich Jesse producing today. It was just his birthday this past week, so happy birthday again, Rich. We have Matt Gabinski answering phones. Jeff Burson is on social media. You know what? Actually, I have to tell you something. My heart starts to race when I talk about this whole topic of sex trafficking. It starts to race. I almost can't get my words, to convey or communicate things properly. This is you were spot on, Jerry. It is demonic. And it needs to stop. It has to stop. And so the more we can do to get behind this, to raise awareness and to prevent this from happening to any other innocent human being, the better off we will all be as the body of Christ. So that's why I can't get my words around it. I don't know how I'm going to do in this movie theater all by myself. Marty's working on July 6th, so I'm going all by myself to the movie theater. I don't know. Sometimes when I see these really heavy movies, it's not good if I'm all alone. But But I suggest that we all get there and fill the movie theaters. That's what I would do anyway. But Jerry, I wanted just to say about Stand Tall Today. StandTallToday.com is our life coaching ministry. It's our outreach ministry. We do have webinars coming up every single month. We're going to be talking about how to protect your children from the occult, and that's the next one in July. So be looking for that. You can visit us. You can get a free consultation. Please, folks, don't wait for something to happen with family celebrations around Independence Day. We are getting an abundance of calls of people that are just getting nervous about seeing their family members. It's really getting to be a problem. So don't wait till something happens. Maybe get your free consultation or talk to somebody, because you don't want the argument or the fight or something to happen, and then you have to pick up the pieces afterwards with your family members. That's not what God would want. He wants us to really try to work together as a family. Especially that's what we do here on Take Two. So that's very, very good.
Let us not leave out Debbie's wonderful husband, Marty, who has a freedom birthday as well.
Yeah.
July 3rd, right?
Yeah,
July
3rd.
Is Marty's, coming up.
Yeah, he already celebrated with you. He celebrates. As soon as I start saying, it's Jerry's birthday, he goes, it's mine too. So, yeah. So
You need to say, Marty, your birthday's coming up. And then he'll say, yeah, Jerry's is too. So put him first.
Yeah, you July babies. I love it. But yeah, no, it's exciting. And that's the other thing too I want to bring up real quickly if I can, Jerry. You said I can bring up anything today. Fireworks. Please be careful. Please be careful. There's like dry circumstances and climate and areas of the country. Please be careful and cautious. I know so many people were letting us know, sending emails saying they're worried that people are setting off fireworks in neighborhoods, and just be careful, please.
And do call us here on this Friday broadcast. Debbie says don't get started with your weekend yet. We want you to share part of this hour, or hopefully all of it, with us on the radio. Anything at all. If you've seen something, heard something, read something, something's happened to you, you've done something, whatever it is, faith topics, prayer life, daily life, anything having to do with your life that you want to talk about, it's 833-288 EWTN, 833-288-3986. We got about half the lines are full already, so Matt Gabensky is busy on the phones there, Debbie, but we've got room for a couple more people here. 833-288-3986.
And I just wanted to say thank you to all the Take Two family members that did the daily consecrations and really just blitzed social media with Sacred Heart images being consecrated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus, the Immaculate Heart of Mary, all for June. Now, this is the last day for that, so just go wild on social media with Sacred Heart for the last day, and then tomorrow starts July for the Precious Blood of Jesus. Oh, I love remembering the precious blood of Jesus, Jerry. We'll be right back on Take Two. This is Unscripted. Please call us 833-288-3986.
If you've never been to EWTN's free family celebration, this is your year. Your EWTN family is waiting for you where it all began in Birmingham, Alabama. Join us Saturday, August 26th as we celebrate Mother Angelica's love for the Eucharist and mark the centennial year of Mother's birth. For more information on this free event, visit EWTN.com/family celebration. We want to see you there.
Now, another quote from Mother Angelica's perpetual calendar. I've always been amazed at the risk God takes by hiding. You know, He's hidden in the Blessed Sacrament. He's hidden in my heart. He's hidden in your heart. He's hidden in the present moment. He's hidden in the tragedies of the church and in the world. But He's there. Mother Angelica's perpetual calendar is available at EWTNRC.com. That's EWTNRC.com.
The most original Catholic content is on EWTN Radio.
This is Doug Keck on this week's Mother Angelica Answering the Call. Mother reminds us that when it comes to charismatic gifts and people, look for humility. Her other topics include there is no holy quartet and the Church's approval process for apparitions.
Mother Angelica Answering the Call, Sunday afternoon, 2 Eastern on EWTN Radio.
As we head into the Independence Day weekend, we're celebrating our nation's birth. Let us be patriotic. Let us thank God for the gift of the United States of America in in spite of the rocky shape that we're in right now in many ways, we still want to love our country and be very patriotic. So I hope you get a chance to spend some time with family, friends, loved ones. Get out, maybe have a party, a barbecue, whatever you're able to do this coming long weekend. Hope you get a couple extra days too. That would be great, because we're going to have some tape shows a couple days early next week that we'll tell you about very shortly. First, I want to tell you that EWTN's National Catholic Register is America's most trusted Catholic news source. It's got a comprehensive view of the world from a Catholic perspective, and you can give a gift subscription or get one for yourself and save up to, get this, 42%. 42%. You can save up to that amount. Visit ncregister.com today, ncregister.com, and you can receive daily, weekly, or alert emails from the Register. Just visit EWTN.com and click on subscribe.
I forgot one other housekeeping note. Don't forget to like us on Jerry and Debbie Facebook page. Ace McKay, our producer, posts the coolest things on there. Jerry and Debbie Facebook page. And you'll also get the upcoming webinar announcements there as well. We do have some open phone lines for you. This is unscripted. If you're listening, if you hear the sound of our voices, we consider you part of the Take Two family. We hope you're not starting your weekend yet and your Independence Day celebrations yet. We hope you call in if you have something to share. 833-288-3986. And yesterday's show was very, very powerful. We had a lot of feedback. You loved the show. It was talking about recovery, victory stories. And Vincent was on the line right when we ended the show. And Jerry so nicely said, Vincent, if you can call back tomorrow, we'll put you at the front of the line. And Matt Gabinski did just that. So let's get to Vincent driving through Wisconsin on Sirius XM 130. Oh, Vincent, we're so glad you called back. Welcome back.
Yes, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Yeah, so from the story for yesterday, I was kind of calling in. I'm on a recovery journey myself. 20 years I've spent straight away from the church. Made confirmation a couple years back. I had met a girl at that time. We had broken up, and then I had made my confirmation. We stayed in contact. About a year and a half later, I actually proposed to her. We weren't even dating. And I was about one sin away from, perfectly following the Ten Commandments. And, I'm a pretty gullible person. I like to believe people tell the truth. And, I trusted her. And long story short, just kind of actions speak louder than words, I guess. And over the course of the 3 months we were living together, I started committing every sin, breaking all the commandments. I had since gotten away from that relationship. We're no longer together. And during the time I was one sin away, I went to a Cresceo weekend. And it's like a retreat, and they do like talks and just very motivational and kind of get you connected with God. And they teach us how to like pray and be vigilant and just, get closer to God. So I get back from the weekend, and it was like I was staring demons in the eye. I just got tore down. I was getting attacked on every front, and it seemed like the closer I was getting to God, the more I was being attacked. So it's been difficult getting away from that because I am a recovering alcoholic, drug addict, and all that. And I've just wasted the last 20 years of my life doing sins of the flesh and not really following God and kind of thinking I was following him, listening to the wrong people. And I have a really good friend out there in Illinois. I don't know if he's listening now. His name is Brian. He's the one that got me into Cresceo. And he got me on EWTN. So I just started listening to EWTN recently. So it's actually the second time I've heard your guys' show. So I appreciate all you guys do.
Sure.
But it's just been a struggle, and I've never gone to meetings. I've never done the AA things. I would say I've pretty much done it all on my own, but that would be a prideful thing to say because without God, I would not be here today. So.
Yeah. Wow, Vincent, God bless you, brother. first and foremost, thank you for waiting these about 23 hours and calling back in today after not getting much time on the air yesterday at the end of the show. You've said so many.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, well, if you can stay with us on the line, hopefully if you have to hang up, go ahead. But, you talked about so many beautiful things. The Cursillo weekend, we know Cursillo means little course, as you know. And like you said, it's just talks on the faith. People get together, very inspiring. It is life-changing for everyone I have ever talked to who has gone through a Cursillo weekend. And it was, I think you said at that point, you started to be kind of confronted by these demons, I presume tempting you.
Everything.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, everything from my past. It was just like, boom. And I was not vigilant.
Well, and we always need to be discerning. Are these just kind of our psychological wiring showing us these things, or is it demonic attack? And I can guarantee you, Vincent, you had made a turn for the better, and the demons aren't going to like that. And this is not something to be scared of, like we're going to be possessed next time we open our mouth. A bunch of demons are going to fly in. That's not what we have to worry about. We can be safe and protected by living a life of grace and a sacramental life and so forth. But it's what do we do about that? And you mentioned, all those wasted years. I would say no time was wasted. You are who you are today because in a large part due to who you are back then. And Debbie, I know we talk about it all the time. God takes us where we are, and he takes us on that journey. And it's not always the shortest, point A to point B.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Vincent, you always have to remember the demons want you to remember your past. They play on your memories. They want you to live in the past, and they want you to worry about the future. When you said that I agree with Jerry, there's nothing wasted because you're right here today. Where are you today, Vincent? How strong, on a scale of 1 to 10, how strong do you feel about yourself today? 1 being pretty weak, 10 being super strong.
I'd say somewhere around a 7 or an 8.
Okay.
So what I'm struggling with, and I was kind of calling for some advice, is I guess I kind of took things upon myself, and I tried not playing God, but tried doing things without him. And my ex also suffered from a traumatic past, and I don't feel like I was praying enough. So it's one of those things where it's like I was trying to change a person who said they needed help, and I kind of wasn't involving God as much as I should have. And then it's one of those things like people can't change people. I feel like God is really the only thing that can change a person, personally. And I was kind of calling for some advice because I'm really struggling. There was kids involved, and I think I was more attached to the children's sake than, the relationship in a sense. So it's very easy, I guess, to fall into that trickery of the evil one to where we think we're doing the right thing, but essentially it's like we're being tricked, and it's like we have a wool pulled over our eyes. So
Sure.
Yeah,
Well,
any kind of advice or anything you guys can give would be fantastic.
You mean just for the sadness you feel of breaking away from this relationship and family?
Just kind of, how to kind of keep God involved and just kind of get over the past and move on in a sense.
Okay. Yeah. Here's some great advice. So you're practicing your Catholicism now. Are you Catholic?
Yeah, I was born and raised Catholic. As a teenager, my grandma passed away. I got mad at God. I turned to all the wrong things. Long story short.
Okay.
So.
No. That Vincent, you're cool. Okay, so here's what I would suggest. Less is more with God. What I mean by that, Vincent, is just constantly stay connected to God in small ways. Sometimes we feel like, you have to spend hours and hours in prayer. That's not how our God works. He just wants to stay connected with you. Why? Because he loves you so very, very much. And so less is more with God, but throughout the day. So tapping God throughout the day, staying connected. So ways to stay connected. visual images. If you have holy cards around you, if you have the rosary in your pocket, if you can pray a decade of the rosary, if you're wearing a Saint Benedict medal or a miraculous medal or a crucifix, if you say a quick prayer to your guardian angel, or to just you pray that the Our Father, one Hail Mary, very powerful. Okay, tiny taps throughout the day keep you connected. Why? Because your mind is focused on God. And when your mind is focused on God, not in this way where we have to sit in a church for 6 hours a day, okay, but when your mind is focused on God, you will make better decisions, you will have better thoughts, you will feel the love of God, and you will start to focus on the great plans that God has for you for the future, Vincent. And
Okay.
there'll be less about what you left behind and more about what you get to look forward to. And the other thing I would suggest is there is a wonderful surrender prayer and surrender novena. It's by Father Dolindo Rutolo. Okay, the late Father Dolindo Rutolo. And it's a beautiful surrender novena, but the surrender prayer is beautiful, where you practice praying to let God take the lead. You surrender, you let God take control, and then you have a tremendous peace and joy, Vincent. It's a game changer. So and you can Google it on Surrender Novena, Father Dolindo Rutolo. And the other thing I would say too, Jerry just typed this over, Vincent. If you are being called to marriage, if that's going to be your vocation as to be a husband and open to children and to be a father, pray for that. Ask the good Lord. Say, please put this person in front of me, and this is the person that I need to get to heaven. Okay, so Vincent, there's so much to look forward to. You sound very young. Can you kind of give me a age range you're in?
I'm 37.
Okay, you're super
Really
young.
young.
Okay, Vincent, trust me, you have a whole lifetime ahead of you. I'm 57, and I still feel like I'm 12. Okay, so Vincent, yeah, go for it. You've got a lot of great things to look forward to. And the moment you feel like you're being pushed back into your past, reject it immediately. Reject it, Vincent, because it's not of God. Okay, that's not how our God works. Jerry?
Well, the only thing I can add is when Debbie said you're young, you have your whole life ahead of you. She says, because I'm 57, and then she hesitated for just a moment. I know where she wanted to go, but she didn't. And Vincent, you might have heard my birthday is I'll be 62 tomorrow.
Right.
So she didn't. She said thought she would leave that just to herself. She didn't want to bring the old man into this here. But I just echo everything that she said, Vincent. I have such a good feeling about where God is going to lead you. You know, you're seeking that. You're seeking wisdom. You're seeking to live a pure life, and all of that is going to add up to great joy. You'll never be happier in your life than to just remain close to God, like Debbie said, live a life of purity. And if God brings someone beautiful into your life to marry and maybe have kids, it's going to be simply awesome. All right, what do you think?
Yeah, that sounds great. And then one more thing that I really do struggle with is it's kind of like, how do I put it? You know, like I in a sense, thought I was kind of listening to God in a sense, but at the same time, it was like I was ignoring the people who were trying to see the good in my life, like my friend Brian, who was like, no, don't do it. And I was like, oh, no, this is what God wants me to do. And it's like, you know, how, is there a way to kind of discern the trickery, I guess?
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. Okay, so it sounds like Brian is really strong in his faith. He has a good gift of discernment. Lean on Brian. Lean on Brian. Get a couple people around you, maybe a priest if you can, a deacon if you can, somebody who's really walking the walk, talking the talk, reading scripture. If Brian is that person, go back to Brian and say, you know what, Brian, you have been a great friend. You got me hooked on EWTN. Now I have friends at Take Two. It's awesome. Thank you, Brian. You know, Brian, if you have any words that you feel I need to hear, tell me and let me pray about it. Lean on people. Vincent, I have a huge circle of support around me. So does Jerry. You know what? It's very important we have that support.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely one of those areas I think I was lacking in, those months that I was kind of being dragged back down to my past. So, yeah,
Sure.
that makes sense.
Okie doke. You got this,
Appreciate it.
Vincent. Check in with us, okay?
Yep. Thank you so much. I appreciate your taking the time out for me and everything. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for calling back today, Vincent. Appreciate that. Be safe there driving through Wisconsin. Take Two with Jerry and Debbie and you on a Friday here on EWTN Radio. Michael, you're going to be next. Hang on just for another moment or two. Ann in Buffalo is right after that. And we do have a phone line open if you would like to join us. It is unscripted. We can talk about something you've seen, heard, read in the news, something going on in the church. If you want to talk about how to bolster your prayer life, if you want to ask apologetics questions, if you want to know a little bit more about me or Debbie, you can call. In other words, it's pretty much fair game, whatever you would like to talk about. For the most part, there are some things that are off limits, and Matt Gabinski will tell you what those are if you happen to bring one up. And we know that the Take Two family would never bring up anything inappropriate that shouldn't go on the air. So have at it, folks. Open phone line 833-288-3986.
And our dear friend, Michael John Poye, great music artist, he did a wonderful a song attached to the surrender prayer, Father Dolindo Rotolo's the surrender prayer, and I love that. If I can retrieve that, maybe if Mary Beth's listening, you can email it to me again. We can get Rich Jesse to post it on take2show.com. It's done to song. I think Michael John Poye does a great job. Okay, we'll be right back. This is Unscripted here on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie and you. Call us.
Apple TV allows you to instantly stream your favorite EWTN television and radio shows to your TV. All you need is a high-speed internet connection, a TV, and the Apple TV player.
The most original Catholic content is on EWTN Radio.
On EWTN News In Depth, with a special blessing from Pope Francis, the National Eucharistic Revival enters its second phase. Plus, Thomas Monahan, the founder of Domino's Pizza, shares his journey from orphan to billionaire to a trailblazer in Catholic education. Join us for EWTN News In Depth this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on EWTN Radio and television.
This is Life Issues with Brad Mattis, president of Life Issues Institute.
What happened in the United Kingdom is why the FDA's approval of chemical abortion and its abandonment of safeguards should be reversed. Carla Foster lied to the British Pregnancy Advisory Service that she was under 2 months pregnant when ordering chemical abortion pills by mail. They believed her, but in reality, she was close to 8 months. Before the abortion, the mother's internet search included how to have an abortion without going to the doctor. Lily would have been fully viable had she been naturally born prematurely. The British abortion industry's response is do away with any and all limitations on abortion. This is what the FDA and its allies are working toward in America. Please pray for a godly outcome in our courts on chemical abortion.
Like us on Facebook at Life Issues and stay informed, more informed than you've ever been.
Hi, this is Dr. David Anders. Are you curious about the Catholic faith and need answers? Call to Communion is the show for you. Today at 2 p.m. Eastern. Now back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Well, we love spending this hour with you every day on EWTN Radio, especially on shows like Unscripted, where you bring the topic to the table. And Michael has done just that in Saratoga Springs, New York, actually watching the video stream on YouTube today. Hello, Michael. Welcome to the program.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hey,
and a happy birthday to you, Jerry. And your birthday actually falls on Canada Day tomorrow.
That's right.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
it is indeed.
Mm-hmm.
All of my Canadian friends are going to be celebrating along with me.
Oh yeah. and for those that are alive, well, that basically is what counts, because what I want to talk about was a topic you had at the beginning of last week regarding abortion.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I wanted to bring up was the issues regarding the lack of vocations and work and an occupation, basically, I'm trying to, and basically a lack of workers to fill some of these jobs. Like, for example, like bus company trying to expand to get more service, but they don't have enough bus drivers. And some of these people that might have been meant to fill these jobs basically weren't allowed to be born. So that's where I'm kind of coming from.
Yeah, well, you've got a great point, Michael. And I am willing to bet there are people listening right now who are going, oh, come on, Michael, please. And you know what, folks? Michael does have a great point here. I'm not an expert on any of this stuff, but I know that there are some countries, I think Japan, among other countries, have begun paying couples to have children because they realize, and we know it's a fact of economics. If you don't have the workforce, then the economy is not going to survive. It is going to crumble. And so that's a very good point. In fact, you know, we know, Michael, every one of us who's created by God has a specific purpose and a plan and a vocation in this life. And how many tens of millions, maybe hundreds of millions around the world have been thwarted and never had a chance not only to fulfill their purpose in life, but also for the world to benefit from what they might have done. So I'm with you 100%, Michael. Debbie, I know you probably got some thoughts.
Well, the only thing that I would say to what you're sharing, Michael, and thank you for calling in. Thank you so very much. I would just say that, you know, going back actually to Vincent's call, when he was talking about how the demons really try to work on us and they try to get us to believe all these lies and give into all this fear and stuff. And time is really our friend when it comes to these things. It would serve us better as the body of Christ if we would take a step back, take the temperature down a bit and make a really good decision by responding rather than reacting. And that's the reason why I get so frustrated when you hear of these centers that perform abortions. They don't allow the mother to have an ultrasound and to see the sonogram and to see their baby and to hear the heartbeat. They don't allow that. Okay, why? Because if they can stop that, if they can have the mother react pretty quickly, terminate the pregnancy, well, then it served their purpose. And that's exactly what the demons want us to do. They want us to react. It's time that we stop doing that and we really think clearly, get all of the information, do what is best and what is most pleasing to God. So, Michael, I'm right with you.
Thank you. Yes. And basically, as we get ready for the 4th of July, one of these days, I'm actually planning on listening to somebody you're going to actually have on your show tape program on Monday, Mr. Matt Mahar. And so kind of looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah, it's a great interview. Matt Maher is so wonderful. He's a dear friend of the Take Two family, and we love him. He's so deep in his faith, and he shares a lot of his personal journey. You're going to love it, Michael.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Thanks, brother. And Michael referenced our recent show on abortion. Folks, if you missed that one, we talked about abortion anguish, and we invited people to call in who have been through an abortion in any sense at all, whether it was that they terminated their pregnancy or a doctor or a husband or whatever. It was a powerful show, and it goes back to a week ago this past Monday on August 19th, and you'll find all of the shows archived. Take Two shows at taketwoshow.com. So that show aired on June 19th.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's just clarify something about Unscripted. You can bring up almost anything, okay? Not just, I mean, we can't let the show go in all different directions, and it's very hard to, really keep up the conversation. So almost anything is fair game. And I just want to make sure, because it does make Matt Gabinski's job very hard to do, because it is, he's got to answer calls, he's got to chat with you for a few minutes, he's got to make sure it fits in with the Take Two style. And so we don't want to overtaxi Matt Gabinski. He is our precious jewel of the team. And so it's important that we keep him going strong. Right, Jer?
Absolutely. 833-288-3986. Almost any topic you would like to talk about today is fair game on our Unscripted program. Ann has been holding very patiently in Buffalo, listening today on Sirius XM 130. Hello, Ann. Welcome to the program.
Hi, Jerry. Thank you.
Sure.
First of all, happy birthday.
Thank you.
And also, I really, really hope you guys get Jim Caviezel because I adore him. But anyway, I hope I'm not veering away too much on the topic. But from what I understand, I remember, Jerry, you said you have experience in like theology when you're in seminary and stuff.
Debbie does too, actually.
Oh, Debbie does too. Sorry.
Yeah, she's got a theology degree. She runs circles around me, Ann. I'm serious.
I spent a lot of money for that graduate degree, and
oh my gosh, I feel so bad.
That's
Sorry.
okay. That's okay.
All right. It's all good.
All right. So I have a question on. I just started St. Augustine's Confession book, and for one thing, I'm definitely confused so far because it's a hard read for me. I struggle with comprehension with reading in the first place. And, so I did some Googling around and stuff, and I read that we should read it as a prayer. Still struggling, but I'm fascinated by, with St. Monica and just the whole, history. And I love that he's so human because I have so many struggles similar to him. And, I've been trying to find research, history of where his writings were stored or found, or if, somebody was storing it for him, because it's so early, it's
right
in the centuries. And I'm really interested in what you have to say on where, on the history of the actual writings itself, where it was found and stuff.
Well, Ann, I'll go first. Debbie might have some thoughts.
No, go right ahead.
I am not nearly familiar enough with the Confessions to know the questions you're asking right now, like where they were written or stored or the history of them and so forth. But I'm absolutely positive that on Called to Communion with Dr. David Anders, or on Open Line with Colin Donovan is on this afternoon. He would probably be a very good source to go to. But, you mentioned you hope we weren't veering too far away on the topic. Well, this is what Unscripted is about, though, Ann, is to bring up whatever you want. So we're glad that you persevered and came through and got on the air. I would just say, this is why the church holds up the saints to us. You mentioned, Ann, your weaknesses, and I've got mine, and Debbie's got hers, and all of us. This is why Holy Mother Church shines a light on the saints, because they are those who have overcome what we are now trying to deal with, and that is they have become holy, which is the goal of all of us, because nothing unclean will enter heaven, as the book of Revelation says. So, Debbie, I know if you've got some familiarity with the Confessions of St. Augustine, fire away.
Well, just a little bit, Anne. I do. Actually, we did study it just a tiny bit, and when I was getting the degree in theology. But I wanted to ask you a question, though, about St. Augustine, because I'm just curious. What drew you to him, and what part of what is being revealed to you through this writing is having an impact on your spirituality? I'm curious, and I have a reason for it. The question. So if you can answer that, I'd love to hear it.
Sure. Well, what drew me to it is a lot of saints I read about and stuff, and I know there's a lot of saints that started out in many broken ways and stuff like that, but I struggle with compulsions for things, and it sounds like he does too. And I'm drawn to him because he became a saint. After all this, compulsions and behaviors and struggles, and and over and over, I feel like I turn to God and I ask Him to help me remove these defects of character. And I'm just really drawn to his human self and what he became. And I think that's just really a big part of it, that I just really wanted to learn more about him and just you know.
Right. Okay, so let me ask you this, and you probably have already seen it, but I just wanted to make sure because it's one of my favorite. Did you see Restless Heart 10 years ago? About I think it came out. Yeah, let me see, make sure. Yes, about 10 years ago. Restless Heart, the Confessions of Saint Augustine, the movie.
No, but I'm writing it down.
Yeah. When you were speaking, I'm thinking you need to see this because that's really going to put it into perspective for you and help you to get even closer to him and also to his conversion and his understanding and his very advanced faith life and spirituality. We have to very much thank Saint Augustine. His mindset, the way he communicated what the truths of our faith was absolutely beyond brilliant. And so I love that you're drawn to him, Anne, but I want you to make sure you get a full picture of it, and so that it can start impacting your spiritual life. Those that are very devoted to Saint Augustine, they're like you. They're very interested, very curious, and they do want to make sure they live their most developed, mature spiritual life, because that's what he imparts to us. He is brilliant at that. And so, Anne, right. I love that you're really hooked on St. Augustine. I am as well, because I don't know, a lot of people don't know this, Anne, but St. Augustine helped to shape the theology on angels. You know, you have St. Thomas Aquinas with the Summa, who really did develop the theology of on angels, the truth of our faith about guardian angels and the different choirs of angels. But St. Augustine did as well. And a lot of people don't know that. And so that's why that's why I'm hooked also on him. But yeah, you would really love. I actually bought the movies and I gave them out as holiday gifts. My sister really wanted it and I gave one to her. So Restless Heart, The Confessions of St. Augustine, and you'll love it. I think you can get it on EWTNRC.com. I think you can. Maybe Rich Jesse could check. It's called Restless Heart. Okay?
Yeah, that's wonderful. I think that'll really help me because I'm very visual, and then maybe I can continue the book after. I think that'll really help me.
That's exactly what I was thinking. And if you're very visual, you will love it. In fact, you got to call back and tell me how much you love it, or email me at take2@EWTN.com, because maybe we can continue this conversation. I have so much to say about St. Augustine. I just love him. Yeah. And I love that you love him so very much. So get ready, because it's going to be just an incredible ride with St. Augustine. Okay, we just got confirmation. I was stalling a bit, Anne, just for you. Yes, Restless Heart is available at EWTNRC.com. It's item number 2203. Okay?
Okay. Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Anne. Have a beautiful, hopefully a long, wonderful, blessed holiday weekend. Independence Day. 833-288-3986 is the number. This show is just one of many, and there are great shows. There's a broadcast for everyone, whatever you're looking for on EWTN, and that includes to help you with your faith life, your spiritual walk with God. And what better broadcast to listen to? I don't like to call it a show because it's not, but it is a daily broadcast. That is the Holy Mass from Our Lady of the Angels Chapel, every morning at 8 Eastern Time here on EWTN Radio, and then every 2 hours on EWTN Radio Essentials. So if you aren't able to make it to daily Mass, you get it multiple times a day from EWTN Radio and Radio Essentials.
So I just heard, this is so exciting, our dear friend Deacon Harold Burke-Sivers is going to be on Open Line today. And Deacon Harold sometimes listens to our show. So if you're listening right now, Deacon Harold, I want to say thank you. I loved everything he posted on Facebook during the month of June. In fact, I picked it up and shared it. Deacon Harold Burke-Sivers is incredible. He has got such a fire in his belly. I love that. And he communicates the faith so effectively. And our dear friend, Mary Beth, from Long Island. She came through for us, Jerry, and she did send us Michael John Poyet's song, The Surrender Prayer, from his prayerbreaks.org. And I sent it along to Rich Jesse, our producer for today. So that will be posted on hopefully take2show.com or the Jerry and Debbie Facebook page.
All right. And we had a caller, Catherine, in Cleveland, called in just to remind all of us to please pray the rosary every day. Catherine says we cannot imagine the good fruit that will come if every Catholic even started off with just 1 decade of the rosary every day. Debbie, she says, save the world, pray the rosary. Amen to that.
Amen, Catherine from Cleveland. You're awesome. That is wonderful. The other thing I just wanted to share, too, is that our dear friend Adam Bly, religious demonologist and Peritus in his exorcism ministry, that's a church decreed expert. We are going to be doing a July 19th webinar with him on how to really protect our children from the occult. There are a lot of things, Jerry. I don't know if you were aware of this. There's a Ouija board out there that is supposedly that people can talk to Jesus, and it's not. It's the demons, and so they're trying to Christianize these occult practices, and it's very dangerous because people are drawn to it. And let's just face it, folks. I mean, I was a parent of 2 boys. They're all grown now, but I remember summertime when you're trying to fill those nighttime hours and daytime, and you have slumber parties and all sorts of fun things and swim parties, and a lot of these games can get introduced just by chance, and it just happens. And, before you know it, this thing is out there, and Ouija boards are definitely portals for the demons to come right in and make a home, and that's very dangerous. So Adam Bly has graciously agreed to be on our next webinar in July, and so the details will be coming out tomorrow on Jerry's birthday, July 1st, on how you can register for that great event. And he's gonna answer questions too, because a lot of parents are concerned about it. But yeah, this whole thing with this Ouija board, they're trying to market it as if you can actually talk to saints and to Jesus himself. Scary.
Well, it's very scary, and we do a lot of shows on Take Two where we talk about family issues and kids and raising kids and all of that kind of stuff, and how you go about monitoring the things that your kids are consuming by means of social media and video games and all of this stuff. And there is just a principle that I'm not going to speak for you, Debbie. I think you'd agree, but parents, you have to be super vigilant right now. I mean, in any age, from the dawn of time, parents, have had to be, very vigilant and careful about what their kids are being exposed to and so forth. But nowadays, it is just so very, very awful. It is demonic, and the demon, Satan, wants your kids. He wants to take them out. He wants to ruin your marriage. He wants to take out your kids. He wants to destroy your family. And one of the great ways to do that is when your kids get all confused and messed up. Confused. Yeah, I mean, these things that they're doing, they're not reality. And there are a lot of healthy games out there, and social media has a lot of good purposes. You know what? If you're comfortable and your kids are mature enough, then let them use these kinds of things. My only point is, beforehand, just check it out before they get started on this stuff. Because, Debbie, once they get started on it and see, a year or two later, a parent finds out, oh, my kids shouldn't be doing this. Good luck, getting them to stop doing it at that point.
Right. And I always tell this to parents, especially when I was in religious education as a director. I would say to parents, what's your gut feeling? You're the parent. God wants you to be the primary teacher and catechist for your child. What is your gut telling you? And parents will say, I don't know, even though I did the research on these video games and stuff, something inside of me is telling me it's just not good. Don't do it. Don't do it. You're better off not doing it and not allowing your child to view it and see it than to take a chance and they go down a path and then they start to get hooked on these things. And you find out later there are occult practices or rituals that were done on these things. It's really dangerous. And I agree with you, Jerry. We got to remain vigilant and we've got to just do our homework on things. And, and if you feel like that your family or your kids have dabbled in anything, go to confession. Wipe it clean. Okay, with today's message, gospel message about the man afflicted with leprosy, and Jesus cured him, right? Wipe it clean. That's what you do in confession. Okay, or if you're not Catholic, say a really good act of contrition. And wipe it clean. Remember Saint Teresa of Avila, or Avila, some pronounce it either way, used to stand outside the confessional when her sisters went to confession, and she'd put her hands on their shoulders and she'd say, begin again, start clean. It's very, very important. And then, and Jerry, if I may just say this real quickly, tomorrow is the Spirit World, heard on the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network. And we're very excited about it. It's our open forum show, just like similar to this one. And we get a lot of questions that come in. And please, if you feel prompted by the Spirit, call in. If you have something that's going on in your home, something that just feels strange, Adam Bly is so good about talking with you and to you about what you can and should be doing. We got to thank Jerry Usher. I would have never, ever known about Adam Bly if it wasn't for Jerry Usher. So I'm so grateful to Jerry, because Adam is another jewel in our midst.
Well, I have to say, a previous station manager at one of our affiliates is the one who told me about Adam several years ago. So I have to pass the kudos on to somebody else. But this is the way it works. In fact, we talked about, Colin Donovan is out today. Deacon Harold Burke-Sivers is in for him on Open Line. And, people, you love people like Deacon Harold, and you're thinking, yeah, he's just out there doing a great ministry. But a lot of it just comes along, who knows who, and somebody hears somebody heard Deacon Harold. Father Mitch Pacwa heard him on the radio, had him on EWTN Live, and there you go. Now his ministry is global, so it really takes all of these little puzzle pieces falling into place for us to be able to access these great speakers and singers and songwriters that we can.
Well, and that's what I think we're hungry for in this world. We're hungry for, really strong leaders that speak with charity and clarity, and we need the truth. We're hungry for it. We're in a world that is trying to keep us from everything that is good and truthful, and it's not right. We need to have those strong leaders, and we do have that with EWTN. We're so grateful. It's funny, Jerry. You know how they say as you get older, you start to act like your parents? And I've tried so hard not to be like my parents. I mean, I've really gone to great lengths to try and be the opposite, because I did not want somebody to say that. I'm just like my mom. I have EWTN on all day long and into the evening. Just like my mother,
like your mom used to.
Well, yeah. Marty says you're gonna break the TV set. It's gonna blow up or something. I have EWTN on the whole entire time. By the way, I saw a promo for Take Two. It looks great on TV.
You said, talking about not becoming like your mom and dad, reminds me, one of my favorite ad campaigns is, I'm not going to mention the brand, but it's the insurance company that taught, don't be like your parents, and go into that psychologist who looks like Dr. Phil. Real quickly, too, a caller, Michael, mentioned our Monday broadcast. It is a holiday replay of the interview that Debbie and I did with Catholic singer-songwriter Matt Maher. He is many times over awarded for his work. He has worked with all of the greats in contemporary Christian worship music. And Debbie, I'm looking so forward to this interview re-airing, because you and I were both pretty stunned about how open and candid Matt was about his past, his life, where he was, where he is now. It's a fascinating interview. I know you want to join me in telling people don't miss it.
Oh, yeah, you definitely don't want to miss it. He is amazing, and he's such a good person, and he really loves you, the listeners of Catholic radio and television. He loves everything to do with being Catholic, and he wants to use his gifts and talents, and he is. And so we love to support that.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey, thanks again to the show team. Rich Jesse in for Ace McKay today. Matt Gubensky on the phones. Jeff Burson on social media. You, the Take Two family, we love you guys. You made it another great broadcast heading into the long Independence Day weekend. Hope that you have the opportunity to stretch out, relax, get a little sunshine, maybe a hamburger or some chicken or some ribs or something. And we will look forward to being back with you on Monday. No, not on Monday, on Wednesday. On Thursday.
On Thursday.
Yeah, we're taking about a month off. Don't worry.
Yeah. We're going to miss you guys, but have a safe time.
We're back live Thursday.
Yes, live Thursday. Have a safe time with family and friends. We ask St. Joseph, please pray for all of us. See you real soon.
The destination for great Catholic audio programming is EWTN Podcast Central, featuring the best of